coming to you live for the Built Ford Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan. Simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network and wherever you are on the free Odyssey app. Good Monday morning. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. This is the last day of March. We head into April, the best sports month there is. A frustrating weekend for the New York Mets and their offense. We do not expect that to continue, but it was tough to watch and frustrating to watch the all three of the games, but they did win one of the three, and now they get the Marlins and a weekend for the New York Yankees that was absolutely historic offensively. And yes, we got needle movers and we got torpedoes. That's what we got here on this Monday morning. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jay. I got to tell you, Friday, you said to me, man, April, March, this has got to be the best month. And I was thinking on Friday night.
Well, April's the best sports month, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, because this all falls in March. This past weekend all falls in March. And I mean, there was hockey games, there were NBA basketball games, there were college basketball games, and, of course, there were the opening weekends for the two baseball teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard to keep up with everything.
And the UFL kicked off, by the way, so I know you were locked into that.
I think I saw 3 plays of the UFL because I was watching the Houston Open.
Oh, yes, the Texas Children's Houston Open.
Right.
Yes, which was actually interesting, believe
it
or not.
Interesting, but
yeah.
I mean, there was so many things going on, and I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you.
It's got to be the torpedoes.
Right, so it's got to be the torpedo bats, and obviously analytics catches up to the Yankees in a good way, I guess, and has created quite the controversy and quite the stir throughout Major League Baseball. Now, here's the good news. Aaron Judge does not use a torpedo bat.
He does not.
He uses his real bat, and that's why Aaron Judge is the ultimate needle mover.
Needle mover,
That's
for sure.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Obviously, we started something last week. But the guys, obviously, that use the torpedo bat is Goldschmidt, Bellinger, Wells, Volpe, and Jazz Chisholm. Now, the interesting one is Chisholm because he's got 3 home runs, he's got 5 hits, and he's batting .417.
Yeah, I mean Chisholm scores a lot over the past weekend. And remember when we were talking about the Anthony Volpe home run where Dave Sims was like, oh, he fisted that one out there. And it's like, it really looked like he got it on that part of the bat. We didn't really know about the torpedo bats at that point. But that exact home run to right field where it caught what we thought was not the barrel, caught part of the barrel of the torpedo bat.
So I guess this is where analytics works, and this has a very Belichickian feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because, each sport is so different because, in basketball, the basketball is always the basketball. The football, we went through this whole thing.
They manipulate the hell out of football now.
We went through that whole thing with Tom Brady, so there's that. But there's things that are so very specific. But then in baseball, it's like, hell, whatever goes. Like, we're going to change the baseball this year. We're going to change it back to something else. The Yankees bring this MIT professor's idea about changing the bat, and they approve it. They're like, okay, it's fine. And then you get a sport like golf where every single year the equipment changes. So it's like, I don't even – if Major League Baseball approved this and the Yankees were ahead of it, you can't be mad at it.
Yeah,
you can't be mad at it.
I never read so much stuff about bats. I mean, rules and who knew what the.
It's available to everybody, by the way.
It is, and maybe everybody will want to go to it, especially with the way that the Brewers pitching staff was reacting.
Yeah, and McGill's brother, basically said that it's the reason why it's the Yankees, so that's why they allowed this thing. If another team had gone, implying that if another team had gone to Major League Baseball about it, they would say no. But since it was the Yankees. Major League Baseball approved
it. I can understand being upset, but that's a ridiculous take.
That
is a 100% ridiculous take. And the question will be, will other teams do this? And
the Braves apparently just put in their order, McMonagle told me on the overnight when I was listening. Braves put in their order.
And by the way, the Mets should be putting in their order,
I hope so.
Or something, maybe, because Jesus.
That's insane.
So, here we go again. The offense is flat. The pitching was reasonable.
Yeah, which... we don't expect that. I expect the pitching to be reasonable throughout the entire year. I don't expect it to be great. I don't expect it to be terrible. I expect it to be reasonable, but obviously the offense has got to wake up. We gave him a pass with the Framber Valdez game, but after that it was pretty disappointing. And Francisco Lindor just gets off to these slow starts every time. He's going to have a great year in the end of it. We know that he will. He'll wake up when the weather gets a little bit warmer, even though they're playing down in Houston inside. But that's just something that he deals with, the team deals with. But, yeah, it was frustrating. It was annoying, especially when you're watching the Yankees, 20 spot, 12 spot, just doing what they were doing over the weekend in the cold weather in the Bronx, and the Mets are just, scratching and clawing for a run here or run there.
I was just thinking about Dave Sims and having to go over and over and keep doing it.
Hey now!
Hey now!
Hey now!
Keep doing it.
He said more hey nows, I think, over this weekend than he did all of last year with the Mariners.
Probably. I think Susan was telling him that.
Yeah. No, I did hear that clip. Yeah,
Yes.
Basically, like, you're not going to know what to do with yourself over here. And I told Jerry about this, but this was one of the strangest things, speaking of Dave Sims. As I'm scrolling through all the websites this morning, I go to TMZ Sports. Like, a TMZ reporter is interviewing Dave Sims in the street, and Jerry will have it next hour, interviewing Dave Sims in the street like he's like a legit celebrity getting off a plane at LAX.
Well,
I'm like, what?
He's the voice of the Yankees.
Yeah, but all right, come on. We love Dave. We love the fact that he's getting some attention, all of that. But generally, when you see those things, it's like, oh, we caught Morgan Wallen leaving SNL, and he's going to give you a quote about why he left the stage. Or not, we got Dave Sims outside of his apartment to go call Yankees Brewers.
By the way, why did Morgan Wallen leave the stage?
I don't know. We could talk about it later. I got a couple takes on it. I got a couple ideas.
There was no, did he give any statement or anything?
No, but he did post on Instagram his private jet, said, get me back to God's country right after that. So
Couldn't wait to get the hell out of New York.
Yes, that's what I think was going on there. So
Maybe there was a weather or alert or something. Maybe his pilot said, hey, man, we got to get the hell out of here.
There was no weather. There was,
coming.
no, I mean, we lived here over the weekend. There wasn't
Well,
any...
not here. Could be where he was going.
Oh, okay, that's true, yeah. But whatever. I mean, he probably hated being here. But anyway, the point being that I was like, Dave Sims. I mean, is this what we got going on here, man? The Yankees are so hot right now that TMZ's finding Dave Sims in the streets of Manhattan to get his take on the team. It's wild.
I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better weekend. I mean, you really couldn't have. And everybody's talking about the loss of Juan Soto. What's the team going to do? And look, they got a million games left. There is a long way to go. It's a great start, and it makes you happy if you're a fan because it makes us frustrated.
Yeah.
Watching our supposed offense, just basically go down in flames.
Yeah. Well, all right, I mean, that is dramatic for the first three games. Are supposed
I know
to go down in
way.
flames.
I mean,
But they struggled. There's no two ways about it. They struggled. Yes, it was frustrating. But I was thinking another thing about like the bat thing. Like you're not allowed to cork the bat, right?
Right.
Not allowed to, but you could make the barrel bigger on the bat.
Well, it's you're moving the barrel either up or down depending on where you tend to hit the baseball. So you really have to. We talk about the Mets pitching lab.
Yep, pitching
You
lab.
really have to credit the front office geeks of the Yankees.
Oh yeah,
looking at every single hit that Volpe had to determine where he's hitting the ball and why he's hitting it there, and how can we fix the bat to at least give him a chance. Now, he only had 2 hits during the weekend.
Yeah, no,
and both were home runs,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he was, he came out of the weekend with 10 hits.
Yeah, but I mean, you could make the argument that those 2 home runs would have been, pop flies to the outfield if he had the bats last year.
I mean, I guess if you're a Yankee fan, you got to be happy with Chisholm, you got to be happy with Bellinger, and you got to be happy with Goldschmidt because they got off the great start. Normally, and
Aaron Judge, obviously, too. I mean,
yeah, but he's here. You expect that. The other guys, they brought him in here. And Chisholm was brought in there last year. But the fact that Goldschmidt and Bellinger got off to the start that they got off to, that is like. If we ever have like a free agent for the Mets, a guy always goes into like a month-long slump when he gets here.
Yeah,
except for Cespedes.
Right, and that was a trade deadline situation, and he took the team to heights we never expected back in 2015. I know what you're saying. I mean the Yankees, as you said, they couldn't have been a better weekend, especially with all the chatter in the offseason. You're bringing in these old guys. You're trying to revive careers. You're trying to find the MVP in Cody Bellinger that hasn't been there in many years. Paul Goldschmidt's 100 years old. All of these narratives that had the Yankee fan annoyed in the offseason. I mean, they answered every one of those questions, and they answered them in a big way. So we'll see if this continues. We'll see if the bat thing is an issue, and if we start seeing every team using this and every team scoring 20 runs, and Major League Baseball is now all of a sudden you expect more of a 10-8 game than a 2-1 game. I mean, maybe this is the thing that brings us back to 1998. Maybe the torpedo bat is the new steroid. Have you ever think of that? That the game is going to completely change now because of this equipment, and now we're going to have people breaking home run records and chasing after everything again.
Again, but you can also manipulate the ball like we have seen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you
can.
So
to take the juice out of the ball.
You definitely can. And Major League Baseball's done that. And
it's like using a Bellata golf ball. So a guy can't hit the ball 350 yards.
Right, basically, yeah. I mean, but this, what it reminded me of, and, people roll their eyes because we're making this comparison, but the Volpe thing and finding out where you hit the ball in the bat, it's like a club fitting. It's really what it's like. That you hit this type of shot, so we're going to give you a club that helps you in this type of situation. And that's what this MIT professor did. He looked at all the data, and he said, this is the bat that's going to help you be more productive. Well, we don't see a lot of that in sports.
The other NARPs in the front office, had to watch the tape. And they had to determine where he was hitting the ball off the bat every single time he hit the ball.
Yeah.
And so this MIT professor, Lenny, as he's known in the clubhouse, who is now with Miami, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
He was the guy that basically said, hey, we can do this, and we can move the barrel of the bat down a little bit so where it's hardwood.
It is hardwood, very hard.
And everybody wants that hardwood now.
Yes, and, especially players who have been struggling, getting that hardwood in the place that they want to get it, it's now a little bit easier for them to achieve that. So, yes, and it's working, and it has worked, and everybody's going to start using it because that's the trends that happen. But I didn't see this coming at all. Did anybody even have any idea that this was happening?
When you think about where they manipulated the bat and how they built the bat, you obviously had to go to a manufacturer to sit there and say, we need this hardwood.
Move down. Yeah, can you move the wood down? I mean, look at here. This is Austin Wells, probably opening day, first home run. I mean, that thing looks like a toothpick in that particular picture, doesn't it?
It looks weird, especially when you compare it to Aaron Judge's normal bat because he did not use the torpedo bat.
Yeah.
I mean, if he uses the torpedo bat, do you think that he hits it out of the stadium?
He may. I mean, it may just take the cover off the ball. He's probably thinking, listen, I hit enough home runs already. If I hit this torpedo bat, this thing, people are going to stop this. They're going to shut this thing down.
Now we know why the Yankees got rid of Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
It was like batting practice.
Yeah, certainly. By the way, speaking of, bats and home runs and everybody watching the home runs fly out of the Yankees, Russell Wilson, new Giants quarterback, was watching the games. Did you see what he put out there?
I did not see what he was putting out there.
If this isn't so on brand, Russell Wilson,
you're going to be all over Russell Wilson. I can see that.
Wait, I'm not all over him. I'm just pointing something out that he posted. So he posts, so sweet, the great Bambino is smiling. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Isn't that so him?
Yeah,
just trying too hard and saying something so cheesy. And he doesn't even say Babe Ruth. Like, he's not even like, man, Babe Ruth would be proud. He goes, the great Bambino would be smiling, thinking that somehow is going to hit home and endear him to the New York sports fan. He's just so out of touch.
But it made you he's such a cheese whiz. I don't know what to tell you.
The great Bambino. I mean, you couldn't go with the Yankee Clipper. Could you do something a little bit different than that? Oh, my God.
He was, Russell himself was a great baseball player.
Yeah, no, I understand. He was drafted and the whole thing. And
you would think maybe he'd come up with something else. I don't know.
Yeah, but many Yankee fans were smiling throughout the weekend. They'll have the day off. Mets didn't play Sunday, which is bizarre. I couldn't tell you the last time that the Mets, once the season started, they playing on Sunday. Well, because the 3 games. And
they're playing in Houston, and
they didn't have to do
about weather and any of that crap, so they give them a Sunday off.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like generally in that spot, then you start with a 4-game series down there. But whatever, doesn't matter. As we head into April and a series against the Marlins, where they better wake up, they better score some runs because, all right, one series against a good baseball team.
But now you got the Marlins. You got to feast on them like you feasted on some of the bad teams at the end of last year when you figured some things out and make the fans feel a little bit better about this offense.
No, it's interesting. The Yankees opening against 3 National League teams.
Yeah, they got the Diamondbacks and the Pirates after the Diamondbacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Diamondbacks have a good staff, man. Who are they chucking out there?
Who are they chucking out
Who are they chucking out there, the D-backs?
Warren, let's see, Burns.
Oh, yeah, Corbin Burns. There you go.
Gallen.
Yeah, Zach Gallen. See?
Yep, and Kelly.
Yep. See, they got some arms over there.
They got arms.
They got arms there in Arizona.
Unfortunately, right now, Pittsburgh does not have Skeens in the mix versus the Yankees.
No, it's too bad. Yeah, so it's probably not going to happen.
I would have loved to have seen Skeens against these torpedo bats.
Skeens and the torpedo bats.
Oh,
That's, I mean, all kidding aside, that's probably the most exciting matchup you can get right now. Is with the way the Yankees are swinging with the torpedo bats and then Paul Skeens against them. It'd be pretty cool.
All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network. Just getting started on this Monday morning. Jerry Recco joins us in a couple of minutes.